like I don't want it.
Anything that I want to. I can do anything, yeah, that I want to. Yeah, I can do anything, even if I just had a little change in my heart. You know I got the magic. What I touch turns to gold. Attracted just like static. Nothing's impossible. Sorry if I'm dramatic. Not meant to fit your mold. No, I'm not cookie cutter. I'm an original. 1982 digital Chrysler convertible. All real, just so you know this ain't no GMO. And anything I want, I can have it. Get money's a habit. What comes being a bad bitch? You're still trying to get drip. I've been had it. These hoes try to copy me, but they ain't in my bracket. I shine brighter than the diamonds with that Fendi jacket. If it ain't authentic, y'all could have it. Do anything, yeah, that I want to. Yeah, I can do anything, even if I just had a little change in my
Lovely, it's yours, just imagine it and grab it. Be aware of your habits, work toward it till you have it, and discover that you magic. Our existence ain't scholastic, it's unexplained just like magic. I've been in pain, I've been happy, I've been estranged, I've been tapped in. It's your story to tell. Your words affect how it happens. Your life could be hella heaven. It's all about how you grasp it. I can't call it, but I can. I'm psychic when I'm most active. Eating well, working out, and relaxing. Drinking less, making more. Now I'm naturally proactive. Cause the bullshit gon' come. That's just energy reenacting. It don't disappear. That shit spin up like some narcos clapping. I ain't hit what they was after. Make your goals your target. Practice like
I can do anything, yeah, that I want to. I can do anything, even if I just had a little change in my heart. That I want to.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your new moon in Gemini ceremony. Every new moon in Gemini is a magic word activation. Um, and Missy 1981 just said the most important thing before we even started. In fact, if you're on YouTube and you click the description box below, um, I got my lighter. Check out the Ultimate Manifestation playlist. Whether you watch it or not, This is literally, listen, this is the most important thing. It was my magic word. Why is she saying this? Why is she saying this? Bazinga, I tell you. Bazinga. Okay, Missy, bazinga is my fave word. It was my magic word. The peace dealer had us pick 2 weeks ago. I kept saying it and it worked. That's it. That is quite literally the law of assumption in a nutshell for using repetition. All right. This is what separates the magicians versus the amateurs. The people who flex sophistry and rhetoric to align some kind of rational, logical basis to fucking magic versus people who just create meaning through magic. That's it. The people who relentlessly commit to their own word and mindset versus other people who make every single excuse as to why, oh, I didn't see it happening yet. Oh, I don't really believe this is real. Oh, this isn't logical or rational. All I can say is bazinga. That's it. That's it. So, Missy, well, we are so glad you are part of the gang, Infinity Gang. We are so glad we have heavy hitters as a part of this community. We're not making any excuses. We're taking responsibility. You either want it or you don't. You're either willing to do what it takes or not. And all you have had to do is just repeat your own word. But it's okay. Let's say you didn't take advantage of the creation process 2 weeks ago from full moon to new moon. That's totally fine. All of that was subconscious anyway. Now, as we activate this new moon in Gemini, that's going to officially activate in another hour and a half, this is all you have to do. Pick a magic word, keep saying it, and let it work. Shit or get off the pot. Magicians. And Ches, you straight 100%. You got the Gemini rising. If you, like her, missed the process 2 weeks ago, that's no problem. You already kind of did it, and I'm going to explain it. Now is where you want to consciously be aware with this new moon of doing the process. And I'm going to guide you along, of course, this activation from now until the full moon in Capricorn. I'm going to explain the significance of such. And I'm going to basically show you how within 2 weeks, the surging of your magic, the surging of your potential, the surging of your perspective is going to convert into power through Cancer and Capricorn. And how within 2 weeks, the activation of this mindset, the activation of this magic word is going to direct you towards where we're taking this perspective, where we're taking this initialization, where we're taking our individuality. Okay. Can you speak a little bit about the golden age that people are talking about in 2032? Shout out to Yael. That's a good, well, first of all, I'm not aware that people are talking about a golden age, but I will say everything that I have been speaking about is leading into 2032, 2033. For me, I know that 2032 is when Saturn and Gemini are going to meet with Uranus. Saturn and Uranus are going to meet in Gemini, and then it's going to step into Cancer. So everything that we're doing, the past 7-year cycle was the apocalypse, the activation of the horsemen of the apocalypse. If you remember March 21st, 2020, where we had Saturn, we had Mars, we had, of course, Pluto, we had Jupiter, all in Capricorn, right? Saturn has since then made a 7-year chapter from Capricorn to Aries. So now from 2026, 2027, that the next 7 years from Saturn Aries to Saturn Cancer is going to be 2026 to 2032, where by 2032, Saturn and Uranus will be in Gemini. So right now, Uranus has just entered Gemini. Saturn in Aries is going to catch up to Uranus. They're going to meet in Gemini, and then they're going to enter Cancer together. This is exceptionally significant if you were born in 85, if you were born in 86, if you're born in 87, you have Saturn and Uranus and Sag. It's going to oppose that. If you're born in 88, if you were born in 89, if you were born in 1990, you have Saturn and Uranus in Capricorn. It's going to oppose in Cancer. The mid 80s to early 90s, this is some of the most important period coming into that, because it's going to break through our Saturn returns. And it's increasingly significant. Happy birthday to the lovely Bonnie Jean. We love you so much. We're so glad that you are here. Team Gemini, let's get it. Okay. So, I'm glad you mentioned that intuitive fortune, because I don't know why people may call it a golden age, but it is going to represent the catching up of infrastructure with Saturn to technological innovation with Uranus. So right now, Uranus is in the beginning of Gemini. We're going to see the further radicalization and innovation of smart technology. By the time Saturn of the system, that is, of course, challenging our individual freedoms, make it to the end of Gemini into Cancer, we have entire infrastructures built around smart technology. This is, of course, within the next few years. They say spiritual awakening will happen like never before, and also drastic less population. Yes, Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring mass extinction events. There's so many different ways we can take it. AGI and super intelligence can be reached. The idea that AI may realistically take over humanity. The idea that humanity might, of course, step into mutually assured destruction makes this a mutable, variable period. I don't want to believe that those things will happen. I mean, as possible as these things are happening, there's also more possibility to say that humanity has in control the potential to prevent like nuclear catastrophes. But I mean, it's possible. So it's on the table. That being said, ideally, we will see a quickening of the supernatural potential of humanity. We will see telekinesis. We will see telepathy actually explained by science. We will see science catch up to understanding dreams, at least a little bit. We will see, ideally, science bridge the gap between quantum mechanics and relativity. Maybe we might even see scientists quantify gravitons or whatever the fuck, quantify gravity. Like, we're going to see some of the most extraordinary innovations within science over the rest of the decade. Like, that's a hypothesis, that's speculation. I'm letting you know, right? Just the way I told you 2 weeks ago from Gemini season, this is going to be a crazy season, and it indeed has, is the way I'm telling you, which is not really, I mean, we can always look forward to technological advancement in the future, so I'm not really saying much. But you are going to see some of the most extraordinary technological, and it all starts this year, which is the beautiful thing. It intensifies next year with the North Node and Pluto in Aquarius. And that's where, if you've read AGI 2027, I think the people who wrote that article know way more than they let on. And you have alien intelligence that's awakening right under your nose. People are looking up in the sky for an alien invasion. The aliens have been invaded. They were created by humans. Okay. So like the idea that this intelligence can replace humanity is no longer just speculation. Somebody was the first human being to get clapped by an autonomous robot. Like, that's history now. Somewhere on a battlefield somewhere, an autonomous robot caught its first body. I remember seeing the video of somebody breaking that news. The motherfucker looked disillusioned. Like their eyes were glazed, like they couldn't believe what they were telling the rest of social media. Like, yeah, guys, it's happening. Like, we're here. The stuff that your parents and their parents like saw as sci-fi, like, it's on the table for us. So Yeah, I think what makes it a potential golden age is that we're going to have more integration and communication. There's going to be more capability for more smarts to be your fingertips, where, you know, we grew up in an age where you could look up anything. I think that's going to be further innovated on. We might start to see the positives of AI, because people talk about what can go wrong, but the idea that AI can replace certain hard labor and work, to where, you know, this frees up what people may have to do or not have to do. It can create the stage for universal income, new levels, new devils. Like, I mean, as you can see, Saturn and Uranus being in the first three signs is like the beginning of a movie. It opens up potentiality. We're introducing the players. And that's why this new moon in Gemini is significant this year, because it's the third new moon in the third sign. We have the new moon in Aries, we have the new moon in Taurus, and the new moon in Gemini. So the next three is going to be the new moon in Cancer, new moon in Leo, new moon in Virgo. This is going to be the summer season. This is going to be thickening the pot. This is before the breakthrough. This is where we have the montage scene by Virgo season. So we're going to start to deepen where we're taking things. This first three is very important. We have officially activated and initialized our individuality, who and what we are, so that we can now further take and develop this. We are activating new abilities. I call this magic word activation. I recommend you get a piece of paper in representation, right? I'm writing down a piece of paper. I'm going to burn this piece of paper. I'm going to let it go. This is officially my magic word. Okay. Are you limited to one magic word? Absolutely not. And in fact, one thing I recommend is that when you say words out of command, you have the meaning of what you want the word to do, and then you say the word to release it. That's called magic talk. I just made it up right now. Is it an original idea? No, but there you go. So there's so much I want to talk about. Colby, we were discussing 2032 and Saturn and Uranus leaving Gemini and going into Cancer. Everything we're going through this next 7 years, the difference between 2020 and 2032 is that 2026 is the transition point, where 2020 to 2026 brought us out the old world cycle since 1996, the 1700s, the 1800s with Neptune. And now 2026 to 2032 is the entrance into a brand new cycle. By the time we, of course, shout out to Angelic Silver Linings, by the time, of course, we step into 2032, 2033, we're getting ready to engineer a new society. Gen Z is of age. Gen Alpha is getting ready to come of age, right? Gen Z is still having their Saturn return. Generation Beta is being born. The birth of Pluto Aquarians are going to raise the vibration of the collective. It's going to induce a lot more madness. There's so much shit happening. Millennials are starting to go through their Uranus opposition. Gen Xers are becoming what the boomers were. Like, it's a lot of shit. All right. And this is what is going to, of course, represent the new society, which I want to see as a super-powered society, one augmented with technology, where, I mean, you know, you have people saying, oh, like, we're going to have technology that can induce superpowers within you. Then we're going to have this dichotomy around, and I mean, it's not hard to think, right? This is just common sense. People who are, oh, we're human only. We don't believe in machines. We're all natural. And then people who use machines to enhance their life. Like, we're here. Like, these used to be movie concepts. You get what I'm saying? And so, and we might even come into certain crashes, about to go through Great Depression. So, like, keep this in mind. This is like a 0 degree point. This is like a reset. That's why we call it a reset, a reboot. We're rebooting the narrative. We're reimagining the characters. Uranus is in Gemini, trining Pluto, sextiling Neptune. This is huge shit. So Aries activated the original direction. Taurus gave us the grounded footing, and Gemini has now officially activated, of course, the mindset, the software, the programming, and we're ready to go. Okay. This makes me bring back now Jupiter. It's very important to understand Jupiter's process here. Jupiter activated in Aries 2023. Okay. So now that it's getting ready to leave Cancer, we're officially done. Once Jupiter goes into Leo, Leo's back. Once Leo comes back, it's nothing but drama. Okay. We've had some time to chill. They tried to retcon Leo 2021 and 2023. A lot of people turned their back on Leo. A lot of people try to act like Leo is not even that important, blah, 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 blah. And Leo did not forget any of this. It's normally Scorpio that keeps grudges. Y'all pissed Leo off, bro. And Leo's going to be stunning on a lot of people. Okay. I'm just saying this is going to represent in our society. We had Sun, Pluto, Venus, Neptune, all in Aquarius. What happened when we had this Aquarius revolutionary energy? ICE was shooting innocent people and acting like they weren't at fault. Like this happened. What did that do? It pissed off a lot of fucking people. So that was like the precursor. Once all this comes opposite in Leo, all those tensions that activated all over the world late January, they're going to erupt. They are going to erupt. And if you don't follow that, you're going to look at what happens August as a surprise, even though it was set up since late January. Very important. Jupiter is on the verge of breaking through opposite Pluto into Leo. That's a thing. Okay. Keep your eye on Leo. Cancer to Leo is pre-Leo season. All right. Keep your eye on Leo. Shout out Cancer. We need to look at the influence of Jupiter. Jupiter was in Gemini. Gemini won that year. Argue with your fucking mom. 2024, that was Gemini's year. We all know what happened. 2025 came through. People were hating on Elon Musk, and I'm using Elon as an example. I'm not saying this in support of Elon or against Elon. It's just important to use him as an example because he is a very important character relative to what we're going through. And people were hating on him. I was like, be very careful, guys. Jupiter, the way Jupiter evolved Gemini, it's going to evolve Cancer. Y'all are talking like he not. Thank you. Elon won the year. just like Gemini won 2024, Cancer won 2025. Like I don't know, Cancer won the first half of this year. And I'm telling you who's next. Leo is about to be number one. Just like Elon is the world's first trillionaire and Jupiter expanded him in exaltation, Leo is next. Leo is next. Shift your investments. This is the time to start investing in Leo. I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying this as a fan. They are the lead role character. They saw a lot of people count them out. Okay. Dude is the new, well, see, people say Trump is the new Hitler. Now Elon's the Hitler. Yes, when I say he won this year, I'm saying regardless of public perception, he is moving a certain direction with what he's doing. Whether people like him or not, I'm taking the opinion around people liking him or not, and I'm keeping it objective just relative to what we see with the planets. The fact of the matter is Jupiter went through his sign and he's expanded all of his operations. All right. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who don't think he's Hitler, and they're fortunately or unfortunately, because I see what he's doing on X. I see the type of narratives he's pushing on X. I see how he's pushing narratives with South America. I don't care about that shit. Those are his opinions. He's doing it on his platform. There are a bunch of stuff people will say I don't agree with or agree with. There are a bunch of stuff I'll say people don't agree with. And I try not to let myself get triggered by people just sharing stuff. I mean, you go on X, people are saying the most vile things on all levels. But I understand Elon Musk's role in the collective, good, bad, and ugly. I understand President Trump's role in the collective. I understand Zohar Mamdani and his role in the collective, what he's meant to do. And you see it on the other side, people trying to demonize Mamdani just because of his adjacency to Islam, or because of what he represents. And what people are going to have to recognize is, of course, this tolerance for opposition, or at the very least, the ability to let things play out, which people will not realize, unfortunately. But yeah, that being said, um, Leo is next up. You feel me? And yeah, it's great to be in New York right now. And it's definitely going to be a very interesting period now that we've cleared the beginning. And that's why, like, I'm pretty much showing you the influence of Jupiter in 2023, April of 2023, conjuncted the sun in Aries. Now it's in Cancer. Why is that important? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer are individual zodiac signs. I am the identity, the value in Taurus, the mindset and thoughts in Gemini, and the feelings in Cancer. These all represent your own individuality before the next four signs of the same elements, right, are going to integrate them socially. So this is it. Ever since 2023 was the next upgrade and cycle since 2010 of your individuality. Once it goes into Leo, we're full on integrating. We already began integrating in Cancer, but once it goes into Leo, we back outside. We back outside. All right. When the outer planets left the socials, 2018 going into 2019, and it went into Sagittarius, it was a year before we started socially distancing. We had no prominent planets in the social signs. Okay. Now Leo is going to be the first major planet in a social sign, opposite revolutionary Pluto. We're going to be back outside. And this is why I believe figures like President Trump and like Elon Musk are important, because they agitate and they push people's buttons. If you did not have people like this in power, majority of you would be complacent and you would be okay with your regularly scheduled programming. These are just facts. I've never seen people more riled up and more willing to be political than seeing these two individuals have any semblance of power. People just care more, whether in support or against. This is just the truth. So I recognize their importance in being in the positions they are. And a lot of the reason why people are going to be outside is because they're fed up and they want some kind of change. And you're going to see more radical movements on all sides. It's not just one side. You're going to see everyone outside. All right. And I understand the role that people are playing in order to push, of course, their purpose as catalysts. Okay. And also how this is going to get ready to break humanity into the next epoch, into the next paradigm. I miss when I used to say paradigm naively, thinking that's how you're supposed to say it, into the next era. All right. So with that being said, now that Jupiter is getting ready to leave Cancer and Venus at this point is in, of course, Leo, opposite Pluto, sneak peeking what the summer is going to be like. We are finally at the position where we're going to start to put the boiler on the water. We're going to boil the water through Cancer season. And then we're going to step into fancy ass Leo together, guys. First of all, I want to thank Cancer. Cancer, you're very low key, but you held it down. You expanded a lot more of what we can deeply feel about ourselves. I'm 36. Okay. And this evolution of our individuality is everything we're going to prepare to integrate on stage. We're going to return to society, showing the world what we've learned since we were locked down and shut down, all right, and jabbed up and told to just shut up and listen. I'm sorry. And take this passport or you can't fly. We really let them do us like that. I'm sorry. So that being said, okay, y'all seen they tried to do the sequel. They tried to do that straight to DVD ass hantavirus sequel, and it just didn't work. And it just didn't work. Okay, and may they all go straight to DVD. Not doing this again. So, with that being said, guys, you're getting ready to activate an unconventional and innovative, supernatural quality of your own life experience that's going to integrate and tie in with everyone else who's walking this path like you are walking this path. And that is why the way that you speak, the way that you evoke and communicate, a lot of this evolution has rubbed a lot of people off the wrong way in your real waking life. And the losers who are hiding behind a telepathic veil, trying to influence your intentions based on playing this psychological game around, oh, well, if you're doing what you're doing in our presence, you won't have the courage to do it. Oh, we see what you're doing. Oh, this is what you're doing, but they're not going to do shit to you. I hope that everything up until this point has taught you that most of the people who are talking about what they think about what you're doing will not ever do anything. They're not going to do anything to your face. That's why they're only talking about it, because they want you to do something about it. They want their problem to be your problem. Well, congratulations to every single one of you who have made sure you let them know their problem isn't your problem. You have passed, quite literally. So what's going to happen is, all right, you really, really, really want to be mindful of the intent going into the words you speak. If you knew everything that you said is magic and the universe is going to be like, all right, from your word to God's ears, boom, and it happens, would you say what you say? Yeah, I know people will say even your jokes can manifest. I mean, have fun. Like, give yourself the occasional ironic statement. But how serious and intentful are the words you're saying? Do you have an unfuckwittable mindset? Because I'm going to be completely honest, with Uranus and Gemini, you will not survive this upcoming period unless you have an unfuckwittable attitude and mindset. What is an unfuckwittable mindset? It means you have a mindset with which nobody can fuck with you. Simple as that. Nobody can mess with you. Nobody can play with you. Nobody can play you. You might as well be an NPC, because you are non-playable of a character. Ain't nobody can play you. It's impossible. You don't tolerate that. You don't let people do that. You like the idea of it happening is impossible. You don't apologize. You don't apologize for being unfuckwittable. You don't look at people who try and evoke pity and be like, why won't you let me fuck with you? And you look at them like pathetic because you're worthless. That's it. You have an unfuckwittable attitude. You already won. Let people have the audacity to have an issue with that. And you'll let them know that you have actions that reflect your mindset, that you're not just talking. You walk it too. You walk it too. All right. Tell people to put whatever they say on their life in front of your face and watch how they don't, or watch how they do, but they lying. Period. It's as simple as that. All right. So this is very important. The whole purpose of Gemini season was the expressive, mutable experience and effect of everything that you did, Aries, and strengthened in Taurus. So since that new moon in Taurus, you have effectively adjusted your mindset. We had the moon through Gemini, which activated your ideas. It went through Virgo, which aligned your habits with your ideas. It broke through in Sagittarius, which began to take the meaning of your mindset and show you how you're harvesting a shift in mind. Then it completed with the moon in Pisces that aligned a lot of your beliefs with your ideas. We're going to do 3 more versions of this, where we're going to align our thoughts, habits, vision, and beliefs. But next time in September, it's going to be how we align those 4 angles with our habits. This season, we align those 4 dynamics with our mindset. Okay? So why is that significant? Now that you have adjusted this level of your mindset that your own actions have demonstrated, okay, boom, we're activating new magic words. We're activating new mindsets. Okay. So let's keep it a buck here. And I notice water signs, especially cancers, are so good at law of assumption because feeling is the secret. So y'all have the potency to just say your word over and over. I love that. My sister made a vision board. Everything happened in that vision board. Like water signs are so OP when it comes to this. Now, let me just remind you the significance, the significante of this period. Where were we a year ago? Can you see that? Yo ass was 28 degrees Taurus. I'm sorry, Uranus was 28 degrees Taurus. Jupiter had just entered Cancer, squaring Saturn and Neptune, and people were making fun of Shannon Sharp, saying that he was done for. Ain't nothing happened with Shannon. Yeah, he had to pay off that whatever. He bounced back. He's good. All right. And Shannon Sharp, we forgive you. We forgive you for sitting with Neil Tyson, Neil, okay, this Libra son. We forgive you for letting him gaslight you. Shannon, we know you're a good person. We're frustrated with you too. We hate seeing people blame everything on their zodiac signs and give away power to the zodiac and all that. Who is we? All right, I stand corrected. I forgive you, Shannon. I know you a Cancer. I know you are powerful. Period. It is what it is. I'm not going to hold that against you. It is what it is. All right. Period. I'm glad to see all the Cancer suns and moons winning. All right. Regardless, that being said, let's move on now to Leo. Okay, which is going to happen. This is when it entered here in the beginning. All right. As you can see, we did not have, of course, Uranus in Gemini. Uranus didn't enter Gemini last year until like September, until August, September. Okay. So what does that mean? What does that mean? This is the very first Gemini season, ladies and gentlemen, with Uranus, yo ass, in Gemini. Okay. Okay. Yeah, did you notice Libra? And that's kind of what I like about watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. There we go. Because he is the quintessentially Libra is the partner. So he can't be by himself because he can, but Libra is the partner. They're better off partnering with somebody. They're better off playing their energy off with somebody. I see that as a strength. Are Libras the only people who do stuff with other people? No. But you notice as a theme, he's always going to be speaking with somebody. Whereas Aries is always going to be by themselves. Your sister with the vision board is a Scorpio, right? Great question. No, she's a Cancer. My Scorpio sister won't give me her time of birth. We had a 3-hour conversation about why God doesn't want her to study astrology. And then she pulled up Isaiah the day after saying, oh, see, it says we shouldn't divide the heavens. And I just didn't have the heart to tell her she was begging the question, because once you argue with certain Christians at a certain level, they don't want everything outside of their book doesn't matter anymore. And they prove their point with the book. They use the book to prove their point. But if I used Spider-Man to try and prove my point, those same people will tell me, oh, Spider-Man's just a fictional comic. That's where we're at, unfortunately. And that conversation did one thing for me. That conversation inspired me to want to make a piece of canon that is so influential that 2,000 years later, I will have cults trying to move on my message. Like, how do I build a canon that over 2,000 years is still influential? That's where I will give the Bible. The Bible is one of the greatest pieces of canon with the most controversial history. Wars have been fought over it. Inquisitions have occurred. An entire church took over a part of Europe but World War I had to take it down. Like, this is an extensive piece of canon. This canon is so powerful that 2,000 years later, my fucking sister won't give me her time of birth because a passage in that book told her not to divide the just said not to divide the stars. That's how powerful it is. That's how powerful it is. Okay. So it's one of the greatest pieces of brainwashing I've ever seen. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I want to create an anthology and work that 2,000 years from now captivates people. All right. I honestly could order it myself, but it's kind of like a challenge at this point. All right. It is what it is. And this is why I'm speaking. Yep, Abraham, father of religion, is astrologer. The big three. All right. In anime, we talk about the big three: Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. Let us not forget what the big three before the big three was. The Abrahamics, baby. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. These three came through, fucked up the whole world, just changed the whole world, changed the way people think. Boom. If you're not worshiping Allah, you worshiping Jesus. Like, it's insane. Like, this is some of the greatest brainwashing, indoctrination, and conditioning we have ever seen in our entire life. And I'm impressed. I know a lot of people would look at that and be like, that's what's wrong. I'm impressed. I'm trying to get like them. I'm trying to create my own cult. I'm trying to have people years later arguing around, oh, no. We're really drinking his blood. This isn't just wine. Oh, no, we're not like that denomination. No, this is just wine. We're drinking it metaphorically. Oh, no. We don't baptize children. How are you going to get baptized? You don't even know what you're doing. Now I am a Baptist because I have to get back, like denominations, okay? Like, you have certain Christians that look at Latter-day Saints and that look at Jehovah's Witness like, oh, no, we don't know them. They're not any of us. They wish they're pretend versions of us. Like, that is 2,000 plus years of just badass canon. That is how influential. Meanwhile, the whole Catholic Church is like, we don't claim any of you Protestants. We fuck with Anglicans. Shout out to the Presbyterians. The rest of you motherfuckers is weird. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, but when you see Dragon Ball Z fans argue about whether Kid Buu is stronger than Buhan, which he is, I forget this Buhan is greater than Kid Buu, I'm not arguing with you, then they call us nerds. Anyway, it is what it is, fam. All I'm going to say is this is why it's exceptionally important to take back your power and claim your magic. Through the old ages, where religion had tried to convince you that magic is evil witchcraft and zodiac signs are demons. And then the Enlightenment era that wanted to get away from the dark ages of religion went way too empirical and now try to convince you that magic is just some kind of pseudoscience, as if beings that perceive less than 0.1 of the electromagnetic spectrum can somehow rationalize with their own third dimensional perspective and make sense of magic, which exists beyond their entire ability to perceive ontologically and epistemologically. I just want to say fancy words so I sound smart. Okay, take your magic back. Boom. That's why in anime they paint the church as the villain. Ironically, the church, which is the bride of Christ. That's all I'm going to say, guys. It is imperative, as you do not necessarily let people try and define you with outdated, antiquated doctrines of original sin, as if you were born worthless and you were born stained because of some story that was plagiarized from older cultures and stories. And that somehow means you need somebody who died on a cross to save you, or else you're worthless and you're doomed to hell. But if I were to tell you that if you don't believe Kid Buu is stronger than Super Buu, like, there are some idiots who believe Super Buu is stronger than Kid Buu. I'm sorry. If I were to tell you, if you don't believe that Kid Buu is stronger than Super Buu, then when you go to Snake Way, you're going to get thrown in a hiffle. You're going to see King Yema, and he's going to throw you the hiffle. You would tell me that it's nonsense. But you have people right now. All right, listen. That being said, they're going to call this sacrilegious. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being 100% honest. These same people cannot give you historicity. They cannot give you anything concrete. It's just faith. I'm not saying this to disrespect anyone's faith systems, by the way. Some of the coolest people that I know believe in Jesus. They believe in Allah, but they practice their faith with integrity. They don't lord on their beliefs towards others, and they allow other people the space to express what they believe. I'm not talking about those people. I'm saying really lock in and really tap into this unconventional quickening of who you are, because there's certain things the pastor cannot preach to you. There's certain things the teacher will not teach to you. There's certain things you cannot gain from anywhere but within yourself. After all, isn't that where the kingdom of heaven comes from? These people read narratives of prophets who healed people with their shadows, who cast demons out of people, who others needed fasting and praying to get rid of, who were able to call fire down from the heavens. These people read stories about them every day, yet these same people don't have any evidence of the Spirit. They don't do prophecy. They don't heal. They don't speak in tongues. They don't do any of the stuff that the people they're reading about do. And they have the audacity to say that they practice the same thing too. They are LARPers. Meanwhile, some of you have been gifted these gifts, and because it's not under their faith system, they say it's of the devil. Don't ever let a delusional person tell you what God gifted you. That's it. Continue to show by your fruit where it comes from. Continue to let your actions speak for themselves and demonstrate that accordingly. This is very important, because let me tell you, moving forward, this shit finna be messy, baby. Just letting you know right now. As people start to, in light of technology, right? The rest of this year is going to be like showing a flat earther proof that the world is round. Okay, I'm a globetard. So when you show these motherfuckers any picture or video of the world, they're like, no, that's not even real. No, that's CGI. No. Like that picture them, but the rest of the world. You're going to see all sorts of people who believed in all these outdated beliefs that were never true come face to face with the truth of what's actually what. You're going to see their brain short circuiting. You're going to see years worth of LARPing, years worth of having to just feed themselves bullshit, short circuit, unless they can accept the truth. You're going to have certain people who just who were always in it for the truth. So when they see the truth, they just change their mind. You're going to see people who can't do that, and they're going to try and take out their frustration on you because you do not feed their confirmation bias. So really keep that in mind, okay? What's very significant about this, like I mentioned before, with Jupiter, we have successfully finished evolving this next round of our individuality, the cycle with which started 2023, when we had, of course, the activation of Sun conjunct Jupiter, not in the constellation, in the zodiac sign. The Sun at 23 degrees means that the Sun has just now entered the constellation of Gemini season, but we're not stupid. So we're not going to say that we're coming out of Taurus season. We do not conflate constellations with zodiac signs, okay? So we know that even though the Sun has just left the constellation of Taurus, we've been in Gemini season for 23 days. One is a constellation, the other is a season based on the Sun's relationship with the Earth and the seasons. I can't believe it. To break this down, shit is crazy. All right. So, like I said 2 weeks before Gemini season, hey guys, this is going to be a crazy Gemini season. Hey guys, I hope you've built a proper foundation. This Gemini season finna be crazy. Hey guys, I hope you're ready for Gemini season. You only have 2 weeks. This shit finna be crazy as fuck. Hey guys, Gemini season is going to be very crazy. I hope you're ready. And ever since we stepped into Gemini season, it has been every single bit as crazy as, I mean, anybody who knows anything would have kind of predicted anyway. So I don't consider myself Nostradamus because I called the obvious. Every Gemini season is crazy. This one was just a little bit more crazy. And outside of the lady who got outed for having sex with her cousin, outside of the Carmelo Anthony verdict, outside of Chud the Builder and this Jake dude being thrown in jail for trying to incite riots, outside of the increasingly chaotic nature of race relations that are really just purported on the internet and not really as real in real life as people want you to think, we have finally, of course, on top of a very strong Knicks victory, stepped into this next era. Did you see them throw that lady off of a cliff? Excuse me? All right, I clearly missed certain stuff. Oh, yes, and the UFC birthday party. I forgot about that. So that's a great question. Who knows? So, yes, the craziness of Gemini season is going to be met with the messiness of Cancer season, which is going to be met with the extremely dramatic Leo season that's going to change the way we even engage with people outside. All right. So I want you to treat this Cancer season like you were invited to a major rager, a major party, and you getting ready for the party. You gonna go in the shower, you gonna clean up yourself, you gonna take the new clothes that Jupiter and Cancer have already pumped you out with. You gonna get ready to go outside. You're gonna go get ready to go outside. Cancer season is going to be met with some of the most passive, aggressive digs at your character. So passive aggressive, I think you're going to laugh because you're not a weak bitch who's easily perturbed, and you're going to see through the passive aggressiveness. You're going to see the purpose of it, and you're going to know that behind that passive aggressiveness is just a sensitive, hurt loser who wants to take their anger out on you, but can't, and so they're punching their fist in the air. Oh. That being said, guys, I'm going to break down the next 2 weeks. I want you to come up with magic words you are committed to activating. And like Missy 1981 said, she already was 2 weeks ahead of the game. She kept saying her word and it's worked. This is your word. And it doesn't have to be one word. When you say this word, whatever meaning you had in your head happens. It doesn't matter if you see it instantly. Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to activate it, and I'm going to guide you through how you'll break it in so that by the time we step into the full moon in Capricorn, your understanding utilization of psychic power, the power of the mind that is applying these new magic words. Okay. So I'm using the analogy of magic words quite literally. Okay. You could write it down on paper. You could keep it just in your head. You don't have to do this. You could do whatever. Right. And then basically I'm saying magic words, but ideally what this represents is you're activating a new state of mind, a New York state of mind, a magical state of mind. You're activating the radical unfuckwitableness with which you will bring with you into the summer season. And all you have to do is to just maintain this attitude, whereas going through Cancer season, you're going to fuel this perspective with feelings. You're going to feel in ways that empower your thoughts. So I can say, I'm having a really good day today. And then I can also say, I'm having a really good day today. You felt one. You felt one of those statements because one of those statements I put feeling into it. That's all this Cancer season is going to be. Everything up until this point has activated your character with which you've reimagined and rebooted. You've set the lines. It's time to color with inside the lines. Jiggle yang. Okay. It's time to add depth into this character. When you read a book, when you watch a movie, yeah, they can introduce a character, but that doesn't mean we're going to feel them. That doesn't mean we're going to like them. That doesn't mean that we're going to have an emotional connection with them. This is what this Cancer season is going to deepen. Start to suss out character motivations. Start to give you a deeper understanding of, relative to this here, who you feeling like. Okay. So as I jiggle yang, Irma yang, as I, of course, please cop his dictionary, fellow Gemini, who created a language. Like, what else is new? As I break down the next 2 weeks, I want you to create, of course, your magic word, your magic words. This doesn't have to be one word. This just could be, of course, when you say this, this is the effect you want. You can have one word be multi-purpose. That's what I'm doing. I'm having one word be the word through which, if I want a coffee, I'm going to say the word. If I want to have a good day, I'm going to say the magic word. If I want some amazing fellatio, I'm going to say the good word. If I want it to stop raining, I'm going to say the word, right? If I want to find a parking spot, I'm going to say the word, period. And I'm going to continue to, through repetition, add so much power to this. Cancer season is going to add fuel to the perspective. Gemini is the sail on a ship. Cancer now blows in that direction and moves the ship towards the direction we have adjusted our perspective. Okay. You're going to have to deal with a lot of resentment because there are certain people who want you to exist within the box of their own understanding. There are certain societies, people, archetypes of people, actual individuals who wish for you to lower yourself into their own understanding. And they're going to resent you because you have decided you exist beyond that. You're bigger than that. You have decided and demonstrated that they don't know you like they think they do. And instead of taking accountability for their willingness to completely misunderstand you, they're instead going to resent you because they are what Harvard and Yale have called SLBs and WLB. Yale came up with WLB and Harvard came up with SLB. Weak little bitches and stupid little bitches. They were born muggle ass bitches, so it didn't really help their case. Okay. And that's all they can do. Moving forward, you have to understand the people yapping, that's their fate. That's their karma. They will never do anything but yap. They have no power in their word. They have no conviction in their step. They will yap. They will complain. They will talk. They will make noise. They will be passive aggressive. Are they going to ever do anything? No. No. Ass Agent Smith syndrome, it's very laughable as much as it is pitiful and pathetic. We put it on God out here. They won't put it on anything. They're cowards. So they will talk. They will try and say slick shit to get under your skin, but that's all they gonna do. That's all they gonna do. That is literally all they're gonna do. They're not gonna do anything else. So they don't even exist really. They're just in the background. They're just extras in your movie, trying to play an antagonist, and yet they can't. And yet they can't. Because they're trash. They're trash. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Anybody who's about it would have been demonstrated it. You would have been dealing with their actions. They don't have any power. They're not going to do anything. They're scared of you. That is, oh, y'all trying to hear on God? I got you. We can play that at the end. That is definitive proof that they're scared of you. A lot of these people don't have the courage to take accountability and admit things. Their actions are snitching on themselves. So that is a form of victory. you have secured. It just proves your divinity. They see something in you that they want to humble. But, and I'm taking this from Maji Got the Tea, God hired you. Who gonna fire you? Nobody can take that position away from you. As much as they wish they could, they can't. They trash. They diabolically trash. Like, how are you so ass? Agent Smith syndrome. Okay? So really keep that in mind, because the intensity of the projections you're going to receive is going to be so much more powerful. Okay? And the reason why they're going to be so much more powerful is because the synchronization rate of your awakening is going to be so much more powerful and unbearable to these same people who feel like they can humble you. They're increasingly less going to be able to do so. And now, because you're walking forward with an unfuckwittable attitude, people say whatever they want. They're not going to do nothing to you. They don't even say anything in your face. They have to talk behind your back like weak little bitches. That's it. They're not like that. They swear to God, they are not like that. You have grown men and women gossiping like little girls. In fact, let me not disrespect little girls. I know little girls that are harder and more courageous than these grown adults. Okay? Like straight losers. Like straight losers. Getting all excited because, oh my God, yes, we're back for the summer. My daddy dropped a new album. Yes, I can have fun again. No, that shit is hilarious. Let me not even hate on that. That being said, y'all, are you going to lower yourself and deal with these miscreants, these scallywags? Kids are out here humbling the adults. In the words of DJ Academics, these ghetto harlots. I fell out my seat when I heard him say that. I was like, oh, nah, he cooking. That being said, not I can have fun again. Yep, target practice, baby. Are you going to let these insignificant wastes of space try and define who you are? Let them be mad. That's all they gonna do. These damn scallywags. That's it. That's it. They hate you because they ain't you. The glow you walk with. You have to stop underestimating the truth that people with near unlimited resources look at you. They bypass everyone else in their arena. They look at you with significantly less resources than they have, and they are envious that there is an inner quality within you that all the money that they have, all the connections that they have can't buy. There is a peace within you that all the resources they have can't bring them, because they wonder, how are you able to achieve this with way less, not knowing you never had less? You're Team Infinity. You're Infinity Gang. You're fucking limitless. That your practice was never spiritual mumbo jumbo. It was always the real deal. Why would I ever need anything outside myself? Fuck is we talking about? Baby, I'm infinite. I'm not just saying that to make myself feel better. I'm really infinite. I'm really him. I'm really her. It's a sense of confidence that I didn't need to throw on a good fit just to feel good about myself. I didn't need plastic surgery to feel beautiful. I didn't need to sell my booty on the gram for less than a Happy Meal. I'm living. Oh my God. What? I didn't. So that being said, okay, this is very significant right? Even even people engaged in sex work, right? They value themselves at a proper value. They're not just giving it away for chicken change. All right. So it's putting yourself in a position to capitalize on where it is you are taking things moving forward. And now, whereas the last 3 months, I got you, Anidis. The last 3 months was defining what the next 3 months are going to define how. Okay. Mars, of course, is going to leave out of Taurus. It's going to enter Gemini. Mercury is going to catch up. It's probably going to retrograde, but Venus is going to move through Leo. Jupiter is going to get ready to go into Leo. And we're going to activate this perspective into Cancer season. Okay. I know my worth and value and my being. It's time to integrate this. Now that we have officially activated power, energy, and magic, we are going to begin to integrate such. Miss Nikki, I got you, Miss Nikki. I posted a weekly tarot report, so I hope you guys check that out. But we're going to pull some tarot. I totally got you. Thank you for reminding me. So we are, of course, and I love this community. This is the best thing I've ever been blessed with doing this. If people ever wonder what I have to show for 10 plus years of doing astrology on the internet, it's you guys. It's the fact that I'm connected with y'all throughout the world. You guys have been instrumental and sharing in resources. We help each other out. And that's why I'll never stop doing this. As long as you guys exist, I consider myself very wealthy. That being said, we are getting ready to step into the time of our lives. And yeah, you guys are amazing. This puts you all in a position to realistically get ready to integrate. I'm very honored to get ready to integrate the supernatural awakening that you have been kind of setting up for years. The supernatural awakenings of your own unique eccentricities and abilities, as well as your capacity to, and thank you, Angels of Enlightenment 88, your capacity to further deeply integrate the reimagination and the rebooting of your character as it applies to this stage of this year. All right, this next cycle, rather, that we're moving forward in. So, your job, should you choose, your mission, should you choose to accept, is to move forward with the way of thinking. I do have the Ultimate Manifestation playlist down below if you would like tools. This is going to really just shape your brain into play as far as how it is you use your thoughts. And we're not talking about thoughts you say out loud. We're just talking about the 10,000 plus thoughts you think every day. What direction do you want to train them in? I think I saved a Sammy Ingram playlist. Watch that as well. If you want to go deeper into her wisdom, she is the shit. She might as well be the GOAT. And that being said, I want you to take a word. I want you to activate it. The last 2 weeks was creating the word, but we can say subconsciously, in that you were adjusting your mindset. You already did it indirectly, if not consciously. And don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Now this is activating a word. All right. Should you accept this mission, say it for the next 2 weeks and then release it during the full moon. The full moon in Capricorn, you'll start to understand how to use this power. That's it. We are going to transition the idea of your perspective into the feeling of your character and how we, of course, through thoughts, stimulate feelings. What you're thinking about will be empowered by what direction you feel forward with it. If you want to rationalize and try and come up with a scientific explanation for how magic works, honestly, that's trying to rationalize coloring outside the lines. If you want to do that, you can. The whole point of what science exists for is to really spell out the natural laws of the universe, the physical laws in the case of physics, through, of course, being able to replicate theories and experiments. We're able to define realistically what these laws are. The whole point of magic is that it shits on those laws. The whole point of magic is that it exists beyond it. It's like, okay, this is what's normal. Fuck what's normal. It is miraculous in essence. The whole point of magic is that it transcends physical laws. That's why someone with a scientist's mind could never believe in magic. Someone who is a materialist, reductionist, and empiricist, you can't believe in magic. Magic cannot exist because these laws are fundamental and nothing can break these laws. That's why they're muggles. It's not as simple as just making fun of people and saying words. It's a fundamental understanding. Your brain has to be wired in a way to perceive magic. People who perceive magic know fundamentally everything is perfect. There's no such thing as good or bad. They're hermeticists. Everything is playing out perfectly. The empiricists will say, well, if God is real, how can he let all these bad things happen on the planet? The magician knows bad things never happen. The train that's crashing, that's killing millions, the babies that are getting kidnapped are as perfect as the person who is winning the lottery, the lady who saved people from a burning car. It's all perfection, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That requires a maturity of consciousness, and most people don't have. That's why most people are fucking muggles. Slaves to their own experiences, slaves to their own environment. Whereas a magician creates meaning. A scientist interprets meaning. All right, you have experimentation, you have analysis, you have interpretation, you have theoretical beliefs. That is the scientific method seen through the mutable signs. Experimentation, Gemini; analysis, Virgo; interpretation, universal Sag; beliefs, universal Pisces. A scientist analyzes an experience and interprets to the best of their ability the meaning of that experience. A magician creates meaning. A magician is like, oh, well, this means I'm gonna have the best day ever. It, by its very nature, is delusional. Magic by its very nature is crazy. This is why I'm saying the most magical people you'll meet are crazy as fuck. They're delusional as fuck. There's no such thing as like a rational magician. Those are people who engage in like pseudo magic science. Like they try their best to make it make sense. That's not that's how you know who really understands what magic is and who's trying to like sound smart. There's no sounding smart. There's magecraft. There's alchemy. Alchemy is the bridging of magic and science through magecraft. But we're just talking about pure magic. Magicians create meaning. Period. That's it. Yeah, she blocked me, but homegirl in love with me. She can't get enough of me. I don't give a fuck what she did in the 3D. That's delusional. But the magician will make it happen because they created that meaning. There is nothing scientific about it. It is the antithesis of science. If anything, shits on empirical logic, because our human-made logic is not the end-all be-all. It's just the way we define things based on our limited perspective. Okay, something to keep in mind when you kind of accept that. And that's why that's very important. When we start talking about magical abilities, people keep saying, well, that's just not realistic. Well, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't feel realistic. All right, go and be a muggle ass bitch then. You sound like a muggle ass bitch. Go ahead and be a muggle ass bitch. And you want to be condescending and you want to be rude, maybe short of temper a little bit, just so you come off as just like unhinged. That being said, let muggle ass bitches be muggle ass bitches. We're not talking about reason. We're not talking about rationality. We're talking about fucking magic. Like the stuff of miracles. Like, why are we bringing in science into the equation? So think about how your brain is shaped. Think about how you are conditioned since birth to not only align in a system that depends on this, because the other end of this is science denial. We don't want to deny science, because then you're going to say that there's a firmament over the earth, and then that the sun is not 93 million miles away, and now you just sound goofy as fuck. Okay, so we're not saying to deny science. We're saying stop mixing magic and science. Stop approaching magic scientifically. It's just as absurd with approaching science magically. Science is science. Magic is magic. That's it. They always say science catches up, right? Cool. Science is the asymptote. Magic is infinity. If you've ever learned a math, you know about asymptotes. Asymptotes are equations that will desperately get closer and closer and closer to infinity, but it'll never reach it. That's the difference between science and magic. Do you want to be close but no Cuban? Or do you want to be infinite? Shout out my magicians, okay? Who aren't afraid to look crazy, but I mean, we make miracles every day because we create the meaning. So this is what I want you to do. When you activate your magic word, you are speaking to the universe in a way that's commanding it. You say the word, and that word creates the meaning. And you get to do that however you want. Nobody can tell you how to do that. There's a point science can't cross because it's limited to our natural perception and calculation and measurement of the world around us, with which is limited by our third dimensional perspective. Magic is not limited by dimension. It is limitless. All right. Even the way that I'm explaining it doesn't do it justice, because I'm using English words to still try and dumb it down in a sense with which most of this stuff is ineffable. All right. That being said, right, like the moment I say God is something, I've basically diminished the capacity of God. God doesn't really exist in the way that our human brains like to anthropomorphize it. Regardless, now that we are ready to venture forward, I want you to think about this word right now. I do get the sense that I think we're exactly 23 degrees. Yep. The moon has made it 23 degrees at 123 on the 23-degree sun. That's going to be 24. So the new moon conjunction is going to be at 24 degrees. It's only right. This is a Gemini season. We got it, and this is free. You guys, you don't have to be a member to access the replay. In about a week from now, I'm going to bring back the Cancer season contribution. So we'll do the monthly peace report next week on the 22nd. Okay. And we'll bring it back, but we're going to have the new moon in about an hour or two at 24 degrees Gemini. I want you to talk as if everything you want is a word away. All right. You say the word, the universe has told you, hey, just give me the word, and it's done. Okay. You're not waiting for what's happening. You said the word already. It's done. You know it's going to meet you when it's meant to meet you. You said the word. If you want to say it again, you can even say it again. I want you, your mission, should you choose to accept, is to say the word as if you only need to say it once. You could say it over and over. In fact, I recommend, as will this message, to take the magic word and say it over and over for 2 weeks. But your attitude is, oh, I just need to say it once. Proof is the word then for me. Thank you. Dove Vision said one of the most important things. Proof is not you saying, I got $50 million. Proof is not you seeing $50 million in your account. Proof is I said I have 50 million. I have 50 million. That is delusional in today's day and age. Quite literally. Think of all the people who say that, oh, I'm rich, but they can't prove it, right? They don't have the money in their bank account. There's a reason why people take that attitude. All sorts of people say all sorts of shit, right? And yet I am telling you right now, proof is you having said the word. Why? Because I said so. That's it. That's your proof. Because I said so. Boom. Okay. Trust. That is going to feel or sound delusional to many people. So your mission, should you choose to accept, is decide here and now, what version of proof do you roll with? Do you need other people to acknowledge it before, or is your word enough? The one who relies on the validation from others doesn't get anywhere in this life. The one who knows that their word is law has already succeeded in this life, and they're not a muggle ass bitch. So that's it. Okay. Delulu is always the Salulu. I love that. We always make the Delulu true. I highly recommend really stepping into this. Please, once again, check out the Ultimate Manifestation playlist. I will now start to break down the next 2 weeks ahead. Of course, for the new moon in Cancer, we'll do the 2-cup ritual. But until then, you can write something down. I got my word here. All right. So what we're going to do is, you can do this however you want. Okay. The Pottermore sorting hat. That's kind of fun. I didn't think about that. I'll figure out how we can do that. All right. So, yeah, I'll think up of something around that and come up with different houses, because that's kind of cool. Harry Potter. So, you can do this however you want. I'm going to share an example of what I'm going to do. Any kind of desire that naturally comes up, right? Any kind of need, any kind of want, right? I'm going to say my magic word. I'm quite literally just going to apply my magic word to it. Say it and it's done. Take action where I can to make it happen. Do what I need to do. But that's it. I'm going to slowly but surely, subconsciously, train my mind to accept this magic word as law. It is officially activating. And what's going to happen is, we're going to transition into Cancer in about like a week. And the ideas and the mindset you're activating is going to shift from perspective to power. We're going to start to feel the potency of your ideas and words. We do this every year. This feeling is going to fuel your perspective. It's going to integrate your individuality. All right. And that's it. So we do have the moon 23 degrees. The word is bond, quite literally. In about another hour, we will officially activate this cycle at 24 degrees. Another 2 hours. Let me show you. So we're going to have, of course, 223, right? The sun will be 24 degrees. 323, or really it's 629 now. So 723, 823, 24 degrees. Boom. So kind of in between that, we're gonna have the new moon. All right. This is what's officially going to activate this new mindset that you've already, that's the thing, like you've done this subconsciously or actively or both. The way you've reacted to phenomena over the past 3 weeks has irreparably shifted your mindset. I mean, only irreparably. You can change your mind at any time, but it's already happened. All right. So this is how, even in indirect ways, you're always participating. Don't ever let anybody tell you, oh, I don't practice this. It's not something you can choose to practice or not. You're living. Just the fact that you're living, right? There's certain way, like you might not, people think astrology is just the identification. Oh, I don't believe I'm a zodiac sign. Nobody's a zodiac sign. So like you're still taking actions under the alignment of certain aspects. You're participating in it, whether you want to or not. All right. That's why a lot of bullshit people say around this about it being against their faith. No, this stuff either adds to your faith or you don't even know what's happening. Like it's as simple as that. Nobody can force you to do it or not. You're constantly in alignment with these factors. So we're activating these new mindsets. This is where Carl Jung says, if something about, if you're not aware of something, you're going to call it fate. That's literally like astrology. Like you're either aware of the astrology or you're not, and you're going to say God made you do it, or something happened, when realistically you're doing it regardless. This activation of a mindset, whether you know the new moon is happening in Gemini, you're thinking in a certain way right now. Period. Every single person on the world is moving forward with a certain attitude. Period. The person who can read charts is going to know, oh, we're activating a cycle. I think I'm going to want to move forward with something positive. I think this is what I want to think. The person who doesn't know astrology or doesn't believe in astrology, they're still thinking something. They are still moving forward with a mindset. That's just a fact. And while we're activating this new moon, whatever mindset they're moving forward with, that's what they're activating the cycle with. That's just true. That's not an opinion. That's not me pulling this out my booty hole. This is the truth. This is empirical. This is literal science. It is a fact that while the sun and moon are just entering the constellation of Gemini at the 24th degree, which on the sun's ecliptic path accounts for 84 degrees before 90 degrees on that equal more day, least night solstice point. That's just a fact. There's no amount of opinion that can make what's happening in the sky not happen. So that being said, this is why for those of you who are aware of this and align with it, it's not witchcraft. You're not dealing with demons. You're just aligning yourself with the ways the heavens were divided, whether Isaiah says it's good or not. All right. Because whether I practice divination or not is not dependent on the first 5 books of the Bible, a Judaism inspired Pentateuch. Jewish prophets do not really dictate how I practice what I practice. And when you ask these people who do let them dictate that, they cannot nail down to you any historicity. So they're talking about people who never really existed like that. Is watching the news or whether evil? No, but they'll tell you that we're conflating astronomy with astrology. But you don't know what astrology is. We've proven that, but you somehow know that, oh, we're talking about something else. So don't accept, these people just speak charismatically. They appeal to people's emotions through pathos. Their logos is trash and their ethos is wacky at best. They're not saying shit. And all they're doing is yapping. Remember that. Remember that. So walk forward fearlessly. People know how to make things sound spiritual. I increasingly hate saying the word spiritual because it's just one of the most consequentially fluffed words we've ever used. Like, spiritual doesn't mean anything anymore. People just use it to sound mystical or whatever, or to sound more religious. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. The fuck does that mean? Like, I understand what that meant. You know what I'm saying? We're not dogmatic. We're not orthodox. We're more into, but it's just a fluff word. We're demonstrating now. We're executing. We're using our own mindset and attitude to make magic, and let anybody else say what they want. If they down to demonstrate it, they can. Just say Jesus. It's a lot easier, PD. Sure, Jesus is Savior. Christ is anointed. Let me be very clear. Christ comes from Christos. Christos comes from Osiris, the anointed one. When you see Jesus Christ is a plagiarization of the combination of Serapis and Osiris, a resurrection deity that allegorically represents the anointed Savior. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was with God, and that Word became flesh. That is a fact. That is a concept that has predated the existence of the book of John, that has no historicity. The story of Jesus saying, "Thou who hast not sinned shall cast the first stone," with the prostitute, that has never happened. That was added. And when you read the Bible like an allegory, that's what it's meant to be written. None of these characters are meant to actually be established as real. So I do respect Jesus Christ as a storybook character. Whether that word became flesh in Nazareth and the Christology that dictates you have to believe that he died on a cross or you go to hell, that's evil. That is evil to brainwash children into having to believe that the way we interpret this narrative has to be believed in, or you are doomed for hell. This is what I'm saying. I'm not compromising anymore. And a lot of people are so soft and they're like, oh, just respect people. You can't be telling people they're going to go to hell because we don't believe in your interpretation of a book when it's never been true and you've never done the research. These are just facts, B. Yes, hold my beer. So I'm very grateful for that comment, because a lot of people are afraid to really say the name. But at the same time, a lot of people kind of put, power over a name that has no historicity, and they don't understand where it comes from. Trust, I believe in Christ. I believe that Christ is the living word. I believe that the living word was made flesh in the sense that we share into that hypostasis, and that there's that inner spark with which we can connect to the source. Not this dogmatic, orthodox, canonized, man-made, man-written book that claims inspiration from God, that, of course, tried to tell people you need to pay money to buy your way into heaven, that had councils as late as several centuries after the supposed death of Christ that were arguing whether he was a Trinity or not. These are just nerds in a fan club trying to argue over how they interpret the author's intent, the way nerds in anime fandoms argue over what Toriyama meant when he wrote something. This is just the truth. I don't know what to say. All myths are true, okay? Myth is just mythology. That's it. That's it. Okay. So really keep that in mind. And shit, if I'm lying, I'm dying. May I be struck down right now. May this glitch if I'm lying. Shit. It'll probably glitch because I'm telling the truth. But that being said, it definitely puts you in a position to realistically open up a brand new sense of discovery. And it's putting you in a position to claim the truth you live and to express this through a whole lot of how it is you continue to, of course, demonstrate said truth. Okay. Like I mentioned, in about another hour and change, this is going to activate newly at 24 degrees. And then we're going to carry the moon into Cancer. So as you activate this new perspective, especially for you Aries risings, this is also going to activate new abilities. This is going to activate new ways of thinking. And you're going to carry, of course, these new mindsets into the deeper integration of your character, your talents, and your lifestyle. Throughout this period, at a more intense level, you're going to experience a much more quickened and deeper awakening of the supernatural within you. And it's based on the past 3 months of this foundation you've activated that's going to determine how smoothly or how difficult this process moves forward. Okay. So, with that being said, as we can see, after this new moon coming into the next day, we will have the moon in Cancer. Okay. We see Jupiter 27 degrees. The next 2 days, the moon is not only going to just breeze through Cancer, but we will have made it to the next 30-degree aspect. So the moon in Cancer is going to deepen a lot of what it's saying. Okay. You got me there, bro. Hey, these chairs are expensive, man. I've been wanting to replace this for a minute. I've seen there's like a $200, $300 joint. So the moon going into Cancer is taking your idea and it's beginning the process of fueling it with power. Okay. So the moon, the new moon in Gemini is, of course, this chair kind of represents me moving here. Because once I moved here, someone sold it to me. Shout out to him. Shout out to you, bro. The new moon in Gemini is, of course, you being like, that's a good idea. Okay. The moon in Cancer is deepening the feeling of that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You see how you can feel that? You see how there's death that's pushing the idea forward. Okay. No, I need to replace the chair. Yeah, look. This shit is done for. And apparently they can blow up. I didn't even know. I feel like I'm on a ticking time bomb. But yes, appreciate this. It's a great point though. The moon in Cancer on Jupiter, on Mercury, is going to align your brain's processing with this expansion before it goes over the heart in Leo and strengthens that. You feel me? That's a good idea. All right. So this is going to help you understand before we move into Cancer season, what more we will be deepening, feeling more depth in the idea. Remember, the last time the moon was in Cancer, we were just leaving Taurus season. We didn't enter Gemini season until the moon entered Leo. Remember that. So this is going to, of course, put you in a position to take your magic word and start feeling more power in the word, feeling you saying the word and what the meaning of that feels like to you. Boobs, titties, titties, titties. I just said, I'm living my best life and nothing is going to stop me from achieving my goals. But instead of saying all that, I said titties. Because let's say titties was my magic word. Now I'm feeling the meaning of that through that. You see how I simplified all that just with one word? That word doesn't have to be Tego Bitties. That word can also be heavenly, or it can be bazinga, right? Or it doesn't even have to be one word. It could be everything. Like, it's just your mindset, okay? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yup, that's a classic. That's a classic. That's a classic. So that being said, guys, okay, um, you are going to not only deepen the feeling. Now, why do we want to do this? So that when the moon goes into Leo and we have that deeper feeling around the feeling of what we're saying. Bro, these chairs are like $600, but I did find a chair that they sell for like 150 to 300. So I'm gonna get those chairs on a budget. But yeah, when we step into Leo now, so this is Gemini, right? This is Gemini with feeling. You can feel what I'm saying. And this is Leo. I'm saying it with my chest. I have to do that. That's the performance of saying it courageously. I am not afraid to share how I feel. I'm going to say it with my chest. That's Leo. That's quite literally Leo. So the moon in Leo, in fact, I didn't do Leo justice, but the moon in Leo, oh my God, is going to sextile Gemini. Is about the sextile Gemini is going to be the understanding of how to strengthen our attitude around what we say. Sun roar. It's basically saying what you say with courage and not like a coward. All right. It's not like, hey, will you go out with me? Hey, I was wondering if maybe you can like go out on a date with me. No, it's like, what's up, baby? I'm about to pick you up at 5. I'm about to rock your world, girl. Calm down. Come on with me. I'm about to take you to the club. And we gonna have a fun time. You gotta sound like you know what you're saying. Even if you don't know what you're saying, you just gotta say, roar. Yeah, baby, you like that? You like how sexy my sun roar is? That's it. That's basically it. And then you already have the death through Cancer. You already felt how deep you can say it. Leo is just gonna add that flair. Libra's gonna polish it, but we're not there yet. We gotta add that flair. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Boom. You're gonna sound like you give a fuck about what you're saying. That's basically it. We have the Venus is gonna help polish this, opposite Pluto, tie in the supernatural dynamics. It's gonna sextile Uranus, which is gonna take into account this innovation of your radical thoughts and how courageously you have to say certain things that other people would gasp that you have the courage to say. And I don't mean that weird edgelord wannabe, shit that's like, oh, I have free speech, I can say it. All right. Then we have the reimagination with the trine to Neptune, okay, which is drawing on new ways to express yourself, the simplified way to say, boom. And then we're going to end the moon in Leo off with this sense of the sextile. Okay, now here's where things start to get magical again. We're going to, like we started the transit, have the moon in Virgo. By the time the moon leaves Virgo, the sun will be in Cancer. Okay, so the moon in Virgo is going to revisit square Uranus, how our behavior is aligning with these radical thoughts. Okay, so this is where when you're saying your magic word, you're going to come into a detailed understanding of how your habits and your behavior around saying the word begin to shift what happens when you say the word. You're going to start to understand how what you're saying is affecting change, especially if you are maintaining this. Like, it doesn't have to be what's more important about saying the same word over and over is maintaining that mindset. if you are maintaining this unfuckwittable mindset that everything you say, word to God, must happen, then it doesn't matter if you're saying a magic word, if you're saying a bunch of words. It's the mindset that's important. What we don't want to see is you doubting what you say. Okay. What we're not doing is we're not looking for what we say to happen immediately. We're not saying, oh, I said this and it happened 2 weeks later. Oh, I said this and it happened. Because that's a trap some of you people are going to fall into. You're going to be like, oh, it's been 3 weeks and, I need this to happen 2 days from now. And I don't know if it's going to, why? You're unfuckwittable. Why does that matter to you? Why does that matter to you? You might intend for something and it doesn't happen. Why does that matter? Something better is going to happen than you could have ever imagined. Remember, we don't perceive everything. There's so much we don't know. So you already know the only reason why what I said didn't happen is because I'm setting myself up for something greater that exceeds what I wanted to happen. That's the mindset we have. You can never lose with a mindset like that. Quite literally. Regardless if people think that's a cop-out or whatnot, people are allowed to have their opinions. It's your mindset. It's not theirs. Regardless, everything is working out for me. Isn't it wonderful? Everything in my life is perfect. Quite literally, you can just spam those for the rest of this season and watch miracles happen. Isn't it wonderful? Everything in my life is perfect. Regardless, everything is working out for me. That's it. That's it. I want you to make it yours. Your 3D eyes don't know what it's supposed to look like. You feel me? So when I don't attach, my manifestations are super fast, instant. Thank you, Lilac Ocean. Because right? Why wouldn't they be? Right? Why would we need to attach? It's already done. And I can say the same thing too. Every time I forget I even made an intention, boom, it's already there. All right. And this is going to really help you align more with what you want, because everything you desire comes from, quote unquote, God. Everything that you want, of course, comes from your higher self. You're meant to have it, whether it's meant to teach you a lesson or whether it's meant to really encourage you forward. So by the time the moon goes into Virgo, we're getting ready to transition signs. We're going to have, of course, Chiron enter Taurus. I can't believe I just missed that. That's actually fucking crazy. So the moon is going to leave Leo. It's going to trine Chiron, and then Chiron's going to enter Taurus right before the sun leaves Gemini. So the moon in Virgo is going to help you understand how you are transitioning this mastery of your mindset to shift accordingly into the realm of emotion. And this is what I want to show you here. That 0 degree, of course, do-si. Shout out Josie. From 0 to 0. That's how we're starting. So remember how we started Leo season with the Leo sextile? 0 degrees Leo, 0 degrees Cancer. Well, we're starting, of course, Cancer season with the 0 degrees Libra, 0 degrees Cancer. We started Gemini season with a Gemini affinity because the Leo is third house to Gemini. We're starting Cancer season with a Cancer affinity because Libra is Cancer's affinity, fourth house to the sun. Coincidence? I think not. So we're coming into a balanced, polished, classic understanding of not only the summer solstice position, but our awareness of our own emotions, our awareness of who we feel we are and what we feel. Okay, we're getting ready now to balance the application of our mindset, our thoughts, and individuality into the integration of our characters and what we feel. All right, this is going to take the courage through Leo, and we're going to start to polish this. Virgo perfected it. It analyzed how we can cut the fluff, and now we're going to perfect this, polish this perfection through, of course, that. I wish we had a Leo Venus live. I got you. By this point, on the 21st, we're going to bring the lives back. So on Friday, I will do a, On Friday, I will do a Venus and Leo live. Let's see. 26th. Let me see where Venus will be on the 26th. Because we might be able to do it the week after. Boom, 17 degrees. So on the 26th of June, we will do a Venus and Leo live. That'll be the week after the contributions. Boom. So by this point, guys, okay, this is the next 6 days from now till next Sunday. We're going to see the moon go from Gemini to pass Virgo into Libra. This is the part of the magic word activation that's going to bring Gemini to its final degree, that's going to increase the quality and nature of the mindset and attitude of what you're saying. It's going to really aid in your perspective of what more you can say and how you say it, quite literally. Once we pass the threshold into next week, where by this point we have effectively made 90 degrees, Cancer is not just 0 degrees Cancer. Cancer is 90 degrees on the sun's ecliptic path. It is the solstice. All right. When are you doing your card reading super chat? Intuitive Fortune, really good question. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to do card readings and super chat next week when we do the Cancer season stuff. For those of you who I will pull some cards at the end of this just for free, just to give people general card readings. But yeah, coming into this 0 degree Cancer day is where we're going to bring back the Cancer season. So by the 22nd on Monday, we will resume with the live readings and all that type of stuff. All right. Really great question, Yael. So with that being said, the 90 degrees on the ecliptic path is being met on this day by a 90 degree opening square. All right. Quarter square, opening quarter square. All right. Shout out to Elizabeth. And this is putting you in a position at this 90 degree angle to begin integrating everything we've activated. So right now, we're activating our magic word. By the time we start to integrate it, we're going to activate with the moon in Gemini. We're going to activate deeper feeling of this magic word. We're going to activate the courageous strengthening through Leo of this magic word. We're going to perfect and analyze how it is we communicate this magic word or develop our attitude. And then we'll start to integrate this word and convert magic to power. The 0 degree square here, this opening quarter square, is the point with which we convert magic to power, perspective to character-driven direction. Okay? And this is where now it's going to deepen the potency of what you're saying. You're going to increasingly start feeling deeper what you're saying. And how this begins to reveal, of course, the deeper nature of who you are. So the moon in Libra is going to oppose Neptune. It's going to oppose the sun, just like the sun is going to get ready to square Neptune. And we're going to talk about this next week when we do the monthly peace report for Cancer. So I'll spare the meanings of the sun squares because we'll talk about how significant that is. But when the moon, of course, is squaring, it's going to give us a socially contextualized, balanced understanding of what we feel and how to integrate what we feel. Then, of course, we will have, and of course, with the moon opposite Saturn and Neptune, this is going to break through, of course, how we account for this reimagination and integrity of our characters. Then the moon in Scorpio is going to grand water trine the nodes, the North Node in Pisces. It's going to psychoanalyze the full creative expression of how deeply we can express what we feel and how intensely we're in a position to, well, feel that in alignment with what we're meant to believe. Very important period. Chiron has still just entered Taurus, so the moon opposition to Chiron in Taurus is going to shift a lot more people's focus on boycotting and a lot more people really healing their own self-esteem and worth in application of the healing of the vulnerability of our own ego. Okay. That's what's going to bring the moon in Sagittarius. The moon in Sagittarius is going to ascend our understanding of what we're feeling, the higher meaning. Remember, the full moon last month was the higher meaning of our thoughts. Well, this is going to integrate the higher meaning of what we're feeling in the application of our mindset. This is where before the full moon, you're going to start to see the potency of your magic word and how it starts to shape reality around you. And that's what breaks through, of course, the full moon. And when we have the full moon in 2 weeks, Mercury is going to station, get ready to retrograde, while Mars enters Gemini and Jupiter gets ready to enter Leo. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we have the next 2 weeks ahead cut out for us. We're going to see over the next 2 weeks Mars leave Taurus from 20 degrees to 0 degrees. It's going to move 10 degrees. We're going to see Chiron enter Taurus. We're going to see the sun start to square Neptune. We're going to see Jupiter get ready to leave Cancer. We're going to see Venus reach the middle of Leo. She's polishing the way forward for the red carpet, okay, before she goes on the nodes. And then we're going to break through this utilization of psychic power. Before 2 weeks from then, we actually activate new psychic power in the readjustment of what we feel and who we feel we are and how we feel about ourselves. All right. So your mission, should you choose to accept, is to break through this magic word. You can make it whatever magic word, and it principally functions on you having an unfuckwittable attitude, on you being unable to be fucked with, and you accepting implicitly that whatever you want, everything you tell to the universe, anything that you tell to God is as good as done. That's it. You can use that Bible verse. You're praying to God knowing that He's already answered it. Boom. Okay. I have 7 magic words, 1 being coochie. Might use titties. I love that. Get creative. The more fun, the better. Okay. So with that being said, we do have the moon. This is going to illuminate your subconscious mind, the fears, the illusions, the delusions that you may trap yourself up with in an effort to try and figure everything out, with which is impossible to figure everything out. So as these expose themselves, as your psychic abilities sharpen, as your dreams, of course, reveal themselves to you, reveal subconscious insights. M. Night Shyamalan, lama, lama, lama. The moon is going to reflect your innermost self, and it indirectly or directly is going to help guide you forward. You are not meant to walk the same path as others, nor do you have to. It is okay to walk the path and beat of your own drum. We also will see that with the Ace of Pentacles, this new moon, shout out to Taurus risings, this is in our 2nd house, but this new moon is going to enable you to start a healthy and new beginning. Okay, it's going to put you in a position to realistically step into new money, and not just new money, but put you in a position to activate new value. All right, we have this coming with Temperance and the Sun card. Okay, so there's moderation, there's great management, that through which opens up a lot of joy and happiness. So I really like this, especially with the underlying theme being the moon, which really does kind of influence a lot that was unclear before, with the light of your consciousness enabling you appropriately to see clearly. And I really do like this. I think there will be a solid, grounded, new beginning you'll be able to take advantage of moving forward that puts you in more of a position to, of course, create a proper foundation so you do not fumble the bag. Okay, so don't fumble the bag. Okay, this is practical. keep focused on your goals. You might have someone who shares your ambitions and visions, and you'll be able to work on them together. So there's so much more I want to say. You know, as a Gemini, I can yap all day. But I think the message has been shared. Don't let anybody play you or try to play you, because that's just not possible, or you won't make it possible. And look forward, as messy as things may become, look forward to what you have to enjoy, because as dramatic as things are going to get, I think they're also going to get so much more exciting. And they're also going to put you in a position to really capitalize like never before. We had the Ace of Pentacles, the Temperance, and the Sun card. Okay. So this is like a new investment financially that through good management is going to lead into great joy and happiness. All right. And I think this is definitely going to put you in a position, thank you, Forest Fairy, like never before, to kind of in a practical sense, realize how magic you are, what kind of magic you're working with, and how you're going to integrate that moving forward to shape the way you uniquely live your life and express yourself. All right. So you guys stay blessed as always. I will resume next week on the 22nd with the live videos. Thank you guys once again for the birthday wishes. Best way to support other than tuning in, of course, because tuning in is always amazing. Shout out to you guys on Instagram. I'm so sorry. I never really looked at the comments there. So if I missed any of your comments, I apologize. The replay for this will be, of course, on YouTube. I'll probably do a extended Magic Moon message tonight if I feel like it. And other than that, what was I going to say? Other than that, yeah, I completely forgot what I was about to say right now. But is that why I feel? Yeah. So just allow, of course, you know, your perspectives to switch. Claim how you want to feel, claim what you want to be, and have the willingness to commit and see through it. Embrace the supernatural, embrace magic in and out your life, and look forward to how it will unfold for you. Okay. What was I gonna say? Basically, yeah, now that we're activating this new moon, this is going to be a legitimate shift in consciousness that's going to change from now till next week, how it is you approach and step forward as well. That's what I was going to say. Outside of tuning in, the best way to support, you can always cop a reading. For those of you who would like transit forecasts, they're still available. I've of course, since the past couple of years, lowered the prices. 30 minutes for a report is just $50. No. 15 minutes for a report is just $50. 30 minutes for a report is now $100. Our consultation, I believe, is just $300, and then 30 minutes should be $150 if you want to talk to me live. You're more than welcome to hit up my Cash App or PayPal if you guys want to share any donations, or you guys want to tip anything. That's totally fine as well. And yeah, outside of that, I'll just be doing Magic Moon messages until next week, where we'll bring back the monthly peace reports. I'll probably schedule them this week. So you guys stay blessed. And as was requested, we will close out with, of course,
with this time and I'm on, can't fuck with this rhyme and I'm on. Seen them talk, now all of them gone. Seen that dog, I gave it a bomb. They like, what is he on? On God, all you my sons. On God, I kill you for fun. On God, there can only be one. Call me Unc, now watch me walk it out. It's on sight, we blast, not talk it out. Kill you goofies, fuckers you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you talking about. 26-year-old dropout. Made 6 figures when I clocked out. Mama said, get my degree, got that with a breeze. Now I rock when my cock out.
Put it on God, put it on Jesus, put it on Yah, put it on Beezel, put it on Allah, put it on Reason, put it on I, put it on we, put it on God, put it on Shiva, put it on Ra, put it on Edith. See the facade and I leave it. Death isn't one, it'll come in a 3.
Another soul I'm out here slaying. Another body out there decaying. Another false god y'all obeying. Another lie getting paraded. Live the truth, watch me demonstrate it. Showed you love even though you hate it. Know the day that your death is fated. I'll make sure that I never say it. Really, I'm not the one to play with. When I knock on that door, it's time to let go. Just give me your soul. I sever that cord, you lose the control. I'm racking up spirits, they racking up dough. Dealing that piece on the low. I cheat on my goals, my words really go. Got more than enough, but it's time to get more.
Put it on God, put it on Jesus, put it on Yah, put it on Beezel, put it on Allah, put it on Reason, put it on I, put it on we, put it on God, put it on Shiva, put it on Ra, put it on Eve. Facade and I leave it. Death isn't one, it'll come in a 3. Please just
call me Unc, now watch me walk it out. It's on sight, we blast, not talk it out. Kill you goofies, fuckers you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you talk about. 34-year-old tapped in. Driver's seat, I'm strapped in. Serving all over your lane, I must be insane. You dying, I'm laughing.
put it on God, put it on Jesus, put it on Yah, put it on Beezel, put it on Allah, put it on Reason, put it on I, put it on we, put it on God, put it on Shiva, put it on Ra, put it on Edith. See the facade and I leave it. Death isn't one, it'll come in a 3.
Can't fuck with this timing I'm on. Can't fuck with this rhyming I'm on. Seen them talk, now all of them gone. Seen that dog, I gave it a bone. They like, what is he on? On God, all you my sons. On God, I kill you for fun. On God, it could only be